Hey YouTube, how's it going? Mevlin back here again with another FGxMerlin video, and this one's all about Kawerik. I know it's been more than a week since Kawerik got his buff, and I know I should have made this video ages ago. It just took me forever to figure out this hero for my current playstyle. I tried different builds. I've tried super speed builds, I've tried no damage, high effectiveness build, I've tried super squishy builds, but I feel like for my specific playstyle, this might be the perfect build for him. So the first thing you need to keep in mind is that he needs to survive a Colis and a Sids, or any assassins that want to one-shot him super early. Personally, I like running high defense because I like to pair him with units that give shields, either a Knight with Bastion of Perlusia or FCC. Having high defense will mean that the virtual health you will be getting from the shields will net you more effective HP when compared to having more health and less defense. Second, I'm actually not a fan of having too much speed in my Kawerik for a couple of reasons. First, if you're using him as a turn 1 disruptor, he does not have enough base speed for that. If you're looking for turn 1 disruptors, might as well build units with high base speed such as Assassin Coli, Acid, and Keraaa. Also, you want to speed tune your team in very specific situations. So, for example, in my team, I have a 243 speed effect resist Ray to deal with water tennies, so that in situations where my Kawerik does get debuffed, my Ray can remove all the debuffs before Kawerik can take his turn. If I increase the speed of my Kawerik way too much, I would need to increase the speed of my Ray as well, which is really hard to do because we all know speed gear is very hard to get. Third, you're not actually going to need any effectiveness on him because you will be running Book. If you need to hit any unit with high ER, you will just Soulburn your S2 for a guaranteed 2-turn increase cooldown. His S3 does have a silence and a blind. The silence would be pretty good for those units who have high ER, but you just cannot afford putting stats in effectiveness because you're going to need all those stats everywhere else. And then fourth, just put as much damage as you can. Try to balance your attack and crit damage to maximize his DPS potential. Oh, and don't forget immunity, because when people see Kawerik, people tend to bring Assassin Colis and Assassin Sids, which have a stun and a silence on their S3, so you want to first survive their damage and also not get stunned and silenced. That way Kawerik can do his job. For his exclusive equipment, just get as much crit chance as you want. You don't need to get max crit chance at 12%. It's just so long as you're at 100% crit chance with your exclusive equipment, that's good enough. And the skill is you want to get the blind on S3. I feel like that is the best one. It has the most utility and it will save you more often than the other ones. And lastly, for his artifact, like I mentioned, Tiger Hells is probably best in slot. Soulburns on first turn is just absolutely OP, especially if you pair him again with units that have really good Soulburns on turn 1, like Blingo, which I will show you in a clip later. And also, if you don't think you're gonna need Book, which I really think you should have Book, you could try Attica Scepter. I've actually tried it a couple times and it's really fun because if it pops off, you can maintain your S2, S3, S2, S3 over and over again. That way you have speed buff and stealth buff all the time, which is kind of funny, but it is kind of a bit RNG and it's just not as good as Book. Book is just absolutely broken. As a disclaimer, some of the fights in this video are not on this build. Like I've said, I've tried so many different builds on Kawerik. It's just some of the clips were so good at highlighting and showcasing the benefits of Kawerik that I need to put them on this video, even though it was not on the quote-unquote right build. But the good thing is, I really don't think the build mattered for those clips specifically. The outcome would probably have been the same if I used this build. And finally, I've got so many Kawerik videos that this might be more than one video. I might do 2 videos, even 3. So if you want to see more Kawerik action, links will be in the description below. And with everything out of the way, let's go straight to our first fight. Alright, for this first fight, I'm going to show you why you should definitely have Book and the power of Kawerik at making one unit absolutely useless. The fight is going to be against Keraaa. We're both sitting at high champion. I pre-ban Flurry, he pre-bans Crowd, he grabs first pick and gets FCC, pretty decent safe pick there. I grab Landy Basar, both really good units into FCC. There is some form of anti-synergy there, but these units are just really good that I don't care that they don't work perfectly well together. He grabs T-Serin and the Keraaa. T-Serin probably there to stop me from controlling, which I don't really care because I'm not fully committed into control yet, and the Keraaa because I have double green, but I don't really like Keraaa into Basar because if Basar lands unbuffable on your Keraaa is instantly useless, so I wouldn't suggest bringing Keraaa into Basar because then it's a 50-50. I grab the Kawerik and the sariii. Kawerik pretty good into T-Sariii. Kawerik can S2 T-Sariii, lower her cooldown. She goes into stealth, but she cannot cleanse the increased cooldown in an S3, so she's not gonna gain too much health back because she can only S1, which is not enough damage to bring her back to full health. Sariii is pretty good. Sariii is just amazing and really good into the Keraaa. He grabs RB and the Ruel, which is scary for me because I have not prepared for RB. My team is absolutely squishy. I do grab Blingo, which counters RB, but it's only one counter, and if he bans my Blingo and I don't ban the RB, I'm gonna get instantly wrecked. So I have to ban the RB here. He does end up banning my Blingo, and we go straight to the fight. So the fight's gonna start off, and I obviously take turn 1. I'm gonna S3 in my Basar to knock them all back. That way I have more speed priority, and I hit the Keraaa. This is why you don't bring Keraaa into Basar. If I land unbuffable, which I do, and now the Keraaa is absolutely useless. I do notice that the Ruel doesn't have unbuffable, so it's probably a high ER Ruel in my mind. I was thinking of stunning it with Soulburn on my sariii, but I think I realized that I should Soulburn on Kawerik. Probably just gonna stun the Keraaa here because I didn't have the time to think. I'm gonna Soulburn on Kawerik S2 here on the Ruel, increase the cooldown by 2 turns, and now Ruel is absolutely useless for 2 turns, which is amazing. I could have S3'd here in Landy. I think I decided not to because the T-Sariii is unbuffable, and in case it's basket, I don't want it to gab. T-Sariii takes a turn here, and it wasn't basket, I guess, because it didn't proc, or maybe it just didn't proc. She does S3 here. If that was basket, I was gonna be wrecked, right? So that was why I didn't want to S3 in Landy. That way, in case it was basket, she would still be unbuffable. Ruel takes a turn. She can't really do anything. She can S1 something, but it's gonna heal the Keraaa in a little bit. It doesn't really matter at this point. Straight takes a turn, but she's silenced. I'm just gonna S1 the Kawerik so I can pop it before it takes a turn. I think I tried to silence the FCC here and fail. The reason being, FCC S3 is so much damage that I didn't want her to do it. Most of her team is unbuffable, so only Ruel is gonna receive the skill null, but yeah, that damage is decent, and my team is like kind of squishy. I have silence on Basar here. I think I hit the T-Sariii. I wanted to like pass the silence on, except she already did her S3, so this was kind of dumb. I ended up landing a dual attack though, which was huge because now I can S3 my sariii, pop her out of stealth, and Landy's gonna take a turn and S3. I think I also proc the Keraaa's S2 here, so because I'm unbuffable, he doesn't have immortality, and now I kill both his DPS with my Landy. Kawerik takes a turn. I'm just gonna S3. I don't think I'm gonna silence the Ruel because I'm pretty sure it's a high effectiveness Ruel. Yep, double resistance. It's pretty high effectiveness. S2 my Basar. My Basar does have an effectiveness though, which is good to know. I've got stun on my sariii now, but I'm just gonna S1 the FCC here because the Ruel still has one more turn of doing nothing. But he doesn't know that. Well, he should know that I have Soulburn and stun on my sariii, so he should know he already lost from this point onward. Because I'm just gonna S1. And when sariii takes a turn, Soulburn stun for the win, which is, yeah, and it's over from there. It's the power of Kawerik, making this Ruel absolutely useless for the entire fight. OP. So in the previous fight, I showed you the power of Kawerik's S2. Here we are going to focus more on the S3, and the changes to S3, having silence and stealth on the S3 is actually huge in this fight specifically. The fight is going to be against Sariii. I am sitting at Legend. He is a high champion. I pre-ban Flurry. He pre-bans LR Keraaa. He ended up grabbing first pick with FCC. Like always, I go Basar Landy into FCC. He grabs the Tywin and the Ras, both probably to counter my Basar here. And I grab my Vivian to counter a Tywin. Also the Ras, just in case, I don't want to get death broken by that S2. And I also grab sariii just because I don't want him to have sariii, and it gives me the option to control if I want to. And also he's got triple knights, and my sariii is my con file, so if I def break any of those knights, it's gonna hurt. He grabs the RB and the Brasaria. I'm just gonna ban the RB in my mind because I don't want to deal with it. I could deal with the Brasaria with my Kawerik probably. Also, Kawerik is pretty good here into the Tywin. In case he bans my Vivian, I can strip into S3 silence something, or I can S2. So I have backup for a Tywin in case he bans my Vivian. So I go ahead and ban the RB, and he ends up banning my sariii, and we go straight to the fight. So the fight's gonna start off, and I was worried of speed contesting the Brasaria here. I didn't know what kind of Brasaria it is, but it looks like some kind of slow damagey Brasaria, and my Basar takes a solid first turn. I'm gonna S3 and Basar, try to knock them all back, maybe land an Abyssal Crown. I do miss the Ross here, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. I knock everyone back. I stun the Tawin, which doesn't really matter. I wish it was the stun on the Basara, because Basara is a threat here. The Tawin doesn't really matter because I'm gonna have immunity before he took a turn, so it is kind of sad. I'm gonna S3 and Kawerik. This is one of the strengths of Kawerik 2, is that you have the option to S2 or S3. Here I opt to S3. What I really wanted was the silence on the Basara, which I landed, which is huge. That way I can S3 and Mevlin here and not worry about getting unbuffable. That way I have immunity, I have attack buff, I have everything that I need. So here, Ross is actually going to make a huge mistake. There's 2 buffs right now, and if he takes a turn, there's only going to be 1 buff left. The fact that he S2'd means that he's going to put immunity on 2 more units. Now there's 3 buffs, and he should know that I have Soulburn. The fact that 3 debuffs are on the field means that I'm going to get 30, I'm going to be at 80. If I Soulburn S3, I'm going to get 30 more, go to 100, and S3 again. This is a lot of damage, and my Landy isn't on a DPS build. It's actually on a bruisery tanky build. So the fact that it's not on a DPS build and I'm doing this much damage to him on a tank team means it was a huge mistake. He shouldn't have done that. I think he should have S1 and not gave me buffs to work on. The Basara takes a turn, but it's silenced from the Kawerik. Again, Kawerik gonna carry here. My Basara is gonna take a turn. I'm just gonna S1 the Basara, try to pop it. I did not get a dual attack. I'm gonna attack the FCC here, hope for silence, and I land it. That way, when I Soulburn S2 on my Mevlin here, I'm gonna kill that FCC before it took a turn. Also pop Immortality on the Basara. Atawin is gonna take a turn here. He's stunned, and now I'm gonna try to kill this Atawin with my S1. Ross is gonna take a turn. Probably gonna S3 here for a little bit healing and defense buff. There's nothing else he can do. And my plan here is to take my S2 with my Kawerik and remove the Immortality on that Basara. So I'm gonna S2 the Basara, try to remove the Immortality. There is 3 buffs, but he ends up resisting it. I think, yeah, it was immune resist. Don't know what was getting spelled there. It could have been the immunity, so Basara does take a turn. Pretty sad. She's gonna S3 here and deal a decent amount of damage. That's one of the downsides of Kawerik, is that he really needs to strip. If he doesn't land a strip, it kind of sucks. I'm gonna S3 on the Atawin there. Hopefully kill it. I do not. Now Atawin has a chance to pop off, which is kind of scary. Atawin stun is not 100% though, so I gotta rely on both the fact that it's an 80% chance and also whether it's gonna get resisted by 50%. He Soulburns on Atawin on the S3. I just need like 1 or 2 people to like not get stunned here. Basara and Landy do not get stunned. Huge. I'm the S2 on my Basara. Kill the Basara in the process. Maybe even kill the Atawin. I do not. And Landy's going to take a turn. I'm just going to S3. Actually, no, I have to S1 the Atawin because I'm provoked. But the Russ is stunned. And yeah, we win from here. I'm just going to S1 over and over. Landy's going to S3. And there's no way the Russ wins from here. GG. Alright, since this is the last fight, obviously this is going to be a Blingo fight. If you don't know who I am, I used to be a Blingo main back in Season 2, spamming Blingo every single fight, but now that the meta is super fast, I actually have trouble playing Blingo until now recently. I've changed my Blingo to a more bruiser build. So stay tuned for my new Blingo build I will be showcasing in probably my next video, since Kawerik plus Blingo is a pretty decent combo. This fight is going to be against FGxMerlin. We are both at champion. I ban Flurry, he bans my sariii. I do end up taking first pick here, so I'm going to go ahead and grab my Basar. He takes S10 and FCC. Don't really think that's really good into Basar, but I guess he's just denying me for having FCC, which is kind of smart because now I'll be super squishy. I'm going to grab DN plus Landy. Pretty decent combo because Landy's pretty good into DN, but Landy's also good with DN, so I'm taking the counter and at the same time having the combo as well. He grabs the Lilius and the Alencia. Lilius pretty good into Basar. Also, I got Landy, so I got double green for that fire, and the Alencia to remove my buffs, since I have a decent amount of buffs coming from both DN and my Landy. I'm gonna go ahead and grab Kawerik and Blingo here. My Kawerik has book for my Blingo. He grabs the ace hit at the end, which is a guaranteed ban for me. Since my team is super squishy, also he's going to have book with the S10, so I'm definitely going to die instantly. He goes ahead and bans my Basar because my Basar is insane. It's always going to proc Abyssal, and we go straight to the fight. So the fight's going to start, and the list is actually going to take turn 1. I believe that my Kawerik is on a 250 build here with immunity. I was testing him out on different builds. The Lilius could taunt my Blingo. I think he should have tried to S1 my Blingo and try to kill it, honestly. I guess he wasn't sure whether my Blingo is squishy enough, but he does know that DN can cleanse one debuff though, so I think that was a misplay on his part. I'm going to S2 the Alancia, and it's no longer countered by FCC because now Kawerik removes 2 buffs, so I don't have to worry about the shield. I'm going to S2 on DN to remove that taunt, that way I could Soulburn onto Keraaa, give it attack buff and invincibility. The extra turn allows me to S2 here, and I keep my attack buff, keep my invincibility, proc S1 after creating 1 unit, and pretty decent damage. I think also his team is really squishy here, especially the S10E. My Blingo took way too much damage there, especially since he got 2 tanks. I think he should be a lot tankier. Valencia can't S3 here because I did increase his cooldown with my Kawerik. He could only S1, and the fact that he didn't get Mind's Eye proc, kind of lucky for me. FCC takes a turn, gonna S3, give everyone skill null. But Kawerik's gonna remove all of that with his S3 here. He does take out the damage, which is huge. I'm gonna S3, do some silence on everyone, also blind on everyone, pretty huge. I'm gonna S3 on my DN, cause why not? Might as well heal a little bit. Liz is gonna take a turn, but she cannot S3 because she's silenced. Also, entire team's blinded, so I don't think he can kill anything here. Goes out and S1s into my Landy, misses with the Alancia though. I'm gonna kill the Alancia with my Blingo. 9k on the S1 with a dual attack for the BM, and GG. If you guys enjoyed any of those fights, this was just a teaser of what's to come. I've recently re-geared all my units to a bruiser playstyle, and I'm super excited to show you every single one of them. For the next video, I'm probably going to make a second part of Kawerik where I will be using these stats specifically and show you his interactions with Blingo in the draft, like what happens if Blingo gets banned, what happens if Kawerik gets banned, and how all my other units work really well with my Kawerik Blingo combo. So if you want to get notified for my next videos, you might want to hit that subscribe button, maybe like it and write a comment, that way other people can get to see it on their front page. I'm also a Twitch streamer. I stream every single day in the mornings. Links will be in the description below, so if you're gonna hit that follow when I go live. Also, all my stats will be on my Discord, and if you have any questions, feel free to pop in my Discord, and either me or one of my friends will definitely help you out. Anyways, this was Mevlin. Hope you guys have a nice day, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out.